Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Waters, thank you for the opportunity to ask a few questions. Mr. Director, welcome back to the committee. We certainly miss your common sense and straight talk here, and personally I miss your North Carolina drawl over my right shoulder most of the time during the hearings. You have said several times that you're not going to comment on the specifics of GSE reform, that's a legislative responsibility, but you have made some public comments on whether it's necessary or not. Could you comment for us now about the sustainability of the current situation, what we should be concerned about, and your thoughts on that without going into any specifics about what we should do?
Well, there's nothing worse I've found in this area of the market than uncertainty, and the longer this drags out, the more uncertainty there is. So you have that risk and imperative for Congress to do something. And that's not about what they do, it's about providing more certainty. We have challenges at Fannie and Freddie maintaining an employee base in this environment because they don't know what the future of Fannie and Freddie is. So there are multiple implications that follow from the failure to do GSE reform.
So would you say it should be a high priority for us, for the the Congress and the administration to get that done? I mean, when I first came here, the former chairman was criticizing the administration for not doing anything on GSE reform. The former ranking member, Mr. Frank, was criticizing the Republicans for not doing anything on GSE reform. Now, there have been a lot of proposals. I'm part of a team with Mr. Himes and Mr. Delaney that have come up with a proposal that I'd like to talk to you about. But do you think it's time for that to get done?
Well, I would say there are implications for not doing it. For me to put a priority on it,
fair enough,
I think is an inappropriate role for me, because there are a lot of things that Congress deals with that are priorities,
Sure.
and that's just not my role to set those.
So one of the things that our legislation does is require private capital to be in a first loss position over an explicit federal guarantee. In some ways similar to the white paper that Treasury presented here in this chamber when you were a member of the panel 4 years ago. You've done some of that in terms of, my question is, what is the appetite for private capital to enter into this space, and do you have any sense as to what that premium might be for that first loss position?
Well, private capital, there is an appetite. I mean, I don't know that I can assess the magnitude of the appetite, but I mean, I think they're playing an important role in the availability of housing finance in this country, private capital, that is. And we're trying to facilitate that role by taking loans off of their books so that they can make more loans. That was the whole philosophy under which Fannie and Freddie were founded in the first place. So, and we're facilitating it through transferring risk back to the private sector. So, but that still does not negate the importance of providing certainty in the future by doing GSE reform.
Well, thank you. A number of, as I said, are working on that, and we've had discussions with members of the Senate, with Democrats and Republicans on this committee, and hopefully there will be an opportunity in this Congress to move something forward that basically contains a federal guarantee to, I happen to believe, the question was asked you earlier about the importance of a 30-year fixed mortgage, and you had some observations about that. I happen to believe it's important from an affordability perspective, and the only way to sustain that is through some government guarantee. Let me just close by thanking you. I was one of the members who signed Congressman Ellison's letter requesting that you end the suspension of the fee to fund those two the Housing Trust Fund and the Capital Market Fund, and we appreciate your decision to do that. And good luck to you.
Thank you.
The gentleman's time